The island's elected leaders spent Sunday enjoying Labor Day during the annual picnic at the Ipao Beach Park.
Come Tuesday, we will do the people's work.
Work that entails figuring out what to do about the fiscal year 2012 budget. Governor Eddie Calvo last week vetoed the Democrat-backed Substitute Budget Bill 145 and sent down his new budget bill, which restored his $343 million bond to pay all past due tax refunds. Lawmakers were called into special session Friday, and within 5 minutes, his bill failed.
Our bill, unfortunately, there was no debate on my bill.
And like the governor's bill, an attempt to override SB 145 failed as well.
So I guess we have to now work together with our administration and with the legislature to ensure that, again, we get a budget done before the end of the fiscal year, and we don't leave those taxpayers behind.
At this point, for the Democrats, getting it done requires changing the opinions of at least 2 senators that voted against SB 145's passage. The original vote on the substitute budget was 8-7. In order for an override to be successful, it requires 10 votes, meaning 2 senators would have to change their vote, including a Republican that would have to switch sides.
This is not about any party affiliation. It's about coming together as policymakers to do the right thing for our people.
But doing the right thing, the Calvo administration has argued, is stop stealing from the people of Guam and pay out all that's owed in tax refunds instead of 30% as contained in SB 145 with Senator Ben Pangalinan's $180 million bond proposal.
We won't leave the taxpayers behind. That is what is so important to me. We do not leave the taxpayers behind.
I know that there's a lot of anxiety in our community, but what I don't like to see is pitting up the tax refund recipient versus the GovGuam employee, the GovGuam employee versus the private sector employee.
I'm not pitting anyone against anybody. Those GovGuam workers are also owed tax refunds.
Respicio and the Democrats say when you take into consideration what's happening in the nation's capital and Washington's plans to cut federal spending, SB 145 is prudent, but Governor Calvo says it's problematic.
People really need to know that there is a bond borrowing provision to pay for up to $120 million of tax refunds. It takes care of 2009 and beyond. For 2010, there's current provision set aside for tax refunds, and in 2012, there's also $105 million. So if we go on this course and the governor pays what he should be paying to the tax refund recipients, we should be current by the end of next fiscal year.
One thing is for sure, if the legislature bill was to be passed into law, 2 things would happen. Number one, and because of that 50% offset or diversion of gross receipts tax, then thousands of Guam workers would be affected because of the severe crisis that would occur in this government. And also, thousands and thousands of taxpayers would not get their refunds.
Lawmakers are scheduled to head back into regular session Tuesday, where another attempt at an override will be on the floor. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani.